All right, students, welcome back. We are here with our final presentation of the Digital College Fair, our second annual Digital College Fair. We are here with Blair Sperry from the Art Institutes. She will be talking to you guys about what sort of programs the Art Institutes can offer you. Again, remember, if you have any questions, make sure you jump in the chat room, which is located in the announcement section of the PSP homepage. From there, you can put those questions up in the chat room. We'll write them down so that way we can get them to Blair so she can answer all of them in the Q&A session after her presentation. If you guys have any questions that you don't think of till later, go ahead and fill out that short form that's up there below the video you're watching now. And when you fill that form out, we'll collect all that information. We'll be able to send it out to the colleges and universities that you would like more information from in the future. So again, Blair, it's great to have you here. We're excited for the Art Institute to give a presentation.
Thank you.
Take it away.
All right. Sounds good. So I'm just going to do a brief overview on all of our programs throughout the Art Institutes. When people hear the Art Institute, they automatically think art, painting, drawing, but it's more about creativity. So we focus in four main areas: design, media arts, fashion, and culinary. Okay. We have about 30 plus locations throughout the United States. The one that I refer to the most is probably the Art Institute of Phoenix, because that is the closest one, and you guys are throughout Arizona. So having said that, it does vary from location to location and program to program if we offer that program as an associate's or a bachelor's degree. So if you guys have any questions, you can go online later and look at a specific program. However, if it is specific to the Art Institute of Phoenix, I can let you know if we offer that program as an associate's or bachelor's. Now, keep in mind, typically an associate's takes about 2 years. It's about 1.5 years at the Art Institute, whereas a bachelor's normally 3 or 4 years, and it's about 3 years at the Art Institute. We work on a quarter calendar. So, moving forward. There are many different areas of study. I mentioned earlier we focus in four areas: design, media arts, fashion, and culinary. I'm going to touch on some of those today. We do offer scholarship opportunities, academic, national. You guys can go online to check out all the different scholarship opportunities that we do offer. We do have something that we just started last year, and it's called the Art Grant. The Art Grant is basically for every 12 credits that you earn a grant to be applied toward your tuition. Now, this is for every single student that attends the Art Institute. So every person qualifies. Obviously, if you keep your grades up, minimum 2.0 GPA to get accepted into the Art Institute. And you guys can find out more information about the requirements online or talking to an admissions director. So having said that, I'm going to kind of get into the presentation now, and it's all student work. So everything you guys see here is everything that's done by students from the Art Institute. Okay. Oh, there's the Art Grant that I had mentioned a little bit earlier. And one thing to touch on real quick too is that if you are a bachelor's student getting your bachelor's degree, full-time you get 20% off your tuition. For an associate's, about 15% off your tuition. Okay, so having said that, we're going to start with graphic design. Okay. Graphic design, you want to just tell or sell something through images, okay? It does take a little bit of illustration, but most of the time is spent on the computer. We teach you guys everything from logo design to 3D packaging, imaging, creating a brand design. So this is for people who like to be, again, I use that word creativity, but thinking outside of the box, okay? This is something that doesn't even exist, this Skittles packaging. But this is what a student was able to come up with. Pretty cool if it actually was on the shelves. We teach you classes, you take classes, like typography. So basically just the study of font. We also teach you how to create brands, keep that consistent throughout a company, and that you also get to learn the business side of it as well. So there's also web design. What they've done actually over the past year or so is they've combined the web design and graphic design program. If you want to focus more on one than the other, then you would do about 80% graphic and 20% web, or vice versa. So with our web design, it's tablets, desktop, trying to keep that consistent throughout both. Then we've got interior design. Okay, with our interior design program, we teach you three main types of interior design. We teach you institutional, commercial, residential. Residential is going to be things like homes, RVs, boats. Commercial is going to be, think of office spaces, retail spaces, restaurants, okay? And then lastly is institutional: schools, prisons, pretty ironic. And then also hospitals. So yes, a lot of times when people think interior design, they think just dealing with the aesthetics, the colors on the wall, the pillows, but it's so much more than that. It's also dealing with the 3D 3D designs. You're also, oh, sorry, I moved too fast, but that's okay. I'll still talk about it. But you're also doing 3D renderings. You're learning about AutoCAD, Formzy Assist. You're learning how to design that space and also what's within that space. Okay, so next we've got, we also offer audio production. Did I mess something up? So audio production, you are learning everything from audio tracks for media and audio for radio. You do get to decide what you want to focus on. Unfortunately, we don't offer audio production at the Phoenix location, but that's not to say if that's something that you're interested in, you can't do it at another school. Okay, so moving on from audio production, digital film, video production. With this program, we teach you all different aspects. So everything from lighting, sound, editing, producing, directing, script writing. In fact, a lot of times we cross-utilize the courses. So, for example, our digital filmmaking students will work with the advertising students who need to come up with some type of commercial. So the digital filmmaking students will film, edit, and work hand in hand with the advertising students, but they are able to create those short films by the time they graduate. They're working with industry-related technology so that once they graduate, they are really ready and prepared for what's to come. Okay, so we also have game design and animation. When I talk about these two, it kind of goes hand in hand. You learn how to do character development, environmental design. With our animation, we have 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. Again, once you take your basic core classes, things like illustration, shading, drawing, you get to decide if you want to focus on the 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. You are required before you graduate to create a short film. Same thing for video game design, and we also offer video game programming, okay? Our programs, again, work hand in hand, and you must create a video game or short film before you graduate, and it adds to your portfolio. Another program we have is photography. Okay, with photography, we offer photojournalism or editorial, commercial, portrait, and fine art photography. Fine art is really just what appeals to the artist's eye. This is an example here of photojournalism, telling a story through pictures. And then let's move on to fashion. So with our fashion, we offer fashion design and fashion marketing. Fashion design is the side where you are actually creating the garments. So if you like sketching and sewing, and coming up with that idea and bringing it to fruition. Then there's fashion marketing. Fashion marketing is the business side. How do you take that garment and get it to the consumer? We teach you things like visual merchandising, becoming a fashion buyer, and most importantly, we teach you how to create your own business plan. So you actually get to create your own business. It's not a real business, but still you're getting to pick your location, what type of clothing you want to sell. Going back to the fashion design, we have fashion shows that we put on at the Art Institute of Phoenix and many of the other locations also. They are completely student run. So if your designs are chosen, you are picking everything from your models to the accessories, styling, and the fashion marketing students, they have the opportunity to actually run that entire show. So again, it's completely student run. Here are some pics from just our fashion marketing, fashion design. This is one of our fashion show garments. We have culinary. Okay, so a lot of people are probably interested in the culinary program. We are one of the largest in the United States with over 30 locations. We teach about 20 plus types of international cuisines. So what I mean by that is that you are taking classes on different cultures. Once you graduate, if you want to go work for a sushi restaurant or for a Mediterranean restaurant, you're prepared for all those different areas. So with our culinary arts program, we teach you everything from knife techniques, just the basic techniques, little tricks of the trade, why you tie a chicken's legs together when you cook it, which I never knew before I started working for the Art Institute, but it's so that it cooks evenly. But here's the thing, if you don't have any prior experience in culinary arts, or in a lot of these programs for that matter, but you have the passion, that's the most important thing because you will be able to learn the basics. We also offer baking and pastry. Baking and pastry, pretty self-explanatory. So if you like cooking all the different types of cuisines, that's going to be your culinary arts. Baking and pastry, the breads, chocolates, sweets, pastries. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so lastly, we also have culinary management. Okay, our culinary management program is amazing because you get to, once again, create your own business plan. We have a restaurant on campus at the Art Institute of Phoenix, along with a lot of other locations as well. The one in Phoenix is called the Gallery Cafe. It's completely student run. So every single student, culinary arts, baking and pastry, before they graduate, they have the opportunity to work in the restaurant and you actually deal with the public. They come in, they pay about $12 and you get to come up with your menu and you can change it as often as you want. And the culinary management program, you are running everything from front of the house, back of the house, staffing, inventory guide. So again, you really get that real world experience before you're in the real world. So, talking about every single program that we offer, we put on portfolio shows. This is for every single student that attends the Art Institute, and before they graduate, for every single program, so whether it's photography, interior design, culinary, you come up with a portfolio as well as a resume. And we have career specialists who work with outside employers, and they come in and they get to see your finished work, your resume, you get to present yourself. So it's a wonderful opportunity to get exposure. And trust me, we have plenty of students who get hired on the spot at these portfolio shows. So again, it's a wonderful way to get exposure. Something else we have, this is specifically for juniors. It's something called Summer Studio. What it is, I work it every single year. It's typically the last month in June. It's a program for juniors going into their senior years. Sometimes they'll accept sophomores going into their junior year as well. But what it is it's a program where you get to go and get that hands-on experience and really see what it would be like to be a student at the Art Institute. So whether it's culinary or graphic design or animation, you're getting to go and act as a student, see what the other students are like, see what the faculty is like. If you're traveling from a far distance, then we have the option where you can stay at the hotel. It usually lasts for about 3 or 4 days, depending on how many students we get. But again, it's a great way to test drive the car before you buy it. Before I forget, the Phoenix campus, we are located off the I-17 and Dunlap. If you've been to Castles and Coasters, we are over there. We do offer housing. It's on a first come, first served basis. There are apartment complexes across the street from the school. These are just some pictures here from our summer studio program. Now for the seniors that are out there, we have programs for you guys as well. There's something called Senior Saturdays. We have a program called AI After Dark. These are all things that you can find online, but same concept as Summer Studio, except it's meant for seniors specifically, okay? So open houses, we have one once a month, okay? We actually have one coming up this Saturday, October 24th. Registration begins at 9:30 in the morning. You can go online to aiopen.com to register, but that's a chance for you guys to take a tour of the school, meet with an admissions rep, talk about financial aid for those of you who qualify, scholarship opportunities, and again, just get a good feel for the school and see if it's something that you might want to get more information about or talk to an admissions representative. So, having said that, that's kind of a general overview of the programs. So I'm ready for some questions.
All right. Again, thank you, Blair, for the presentation. I know that we have some artistic students who are definitely interested in moving forward with this as a possible future for them. Again, students, make sure to get those questions in soon. We are going to be done with the Digital College Fair shortly, so make sure all those questions get in as soon as possible. First question, does the Art Institutes offer dance majors?
So that's a great question. And I have a lot of students who sometimes think the Art Institute, unfortunately, we're not a theater arts school or a fine arts school. So no, we don't offer any dance programs, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, are there any sports programs or anything like that?
Okay, so I saw in there, are there any clubs or sports programs? Unfortunately, we don't offer any sports at the Art Institute, but we do have clubs that the students can join. For instance, we have students who might be in the animation program who want to try out photography.
Okay.
And so they have clubs where they can do those types of things. But unfortunately, no, we do not offer sports.
Okay. Let's see what we got. We got a couple more questions coming in right now. What is the photography class like?
Okay, so that's a pretty broad question, but for photography, like I mentioned before, we focus in 4 main types. We focus on the commercial, the portrait, the fine art photography, as well as photojournalism or editorial. So you get to learn about all different types of photography. So portrait photography, for example, you're learning about portraiture. The most important thing is lighting. What lens are you using? We're pretty much all digital, but we do have some instructors who will show you some really cool different techniques on how to develop your own film. Things like commercial photography, anytime you're trying to sell something with photos. So we teach you things like food photography, fashion photography. So those are a couple examples.
Okay. Now, would this be something that someone who's looking to teach art down the line, is this something that they would want to pursue as a future for them?
That's another great question. Unfortunately, no, it's not really a teaching school, but once they do get that degree, come to the Art Institute and come teach for us.
Okay. And then your contact info in case any students
Sure.
can write that down.
So
right
that's
now?
why I brought this card here. I don't know if you can zoom in or if people can, if students can see it, but go to the website, okay, artinstitutes.edu, artinstitutes.edu, okay, and you can fill out the request form. Under how did you hear about us, you select from my high school, okay? Even though this is a digital presentation, still select from my high school, and then you'll have to enter a code, and the code is HS653, HS653.
All right, so you guys heard it there. If you want to go online, get more information, HS653 when you enter that code. We've got another question. Are there any online classes offered through the Art Institutes?
Yes, so I don't want to just say yes completely across the board because again, we have all of the schools throughout the United States and it varies from location to location. At the Art Institute, yes, there are some online classes that you can take. It just varies on the program and if you're getting an associate's or a bachelor's. So that's one that you would want to talk to an admissions director about.
Okay. And is there a field that seems to be the most popular one that you talk to students about?
You know, that's another good question. And a lot of people know us for our culinary program. We have a lot of amazing success stories with our graduates, but it's not just culinary. We've got great stories with our fashion, design, media arts. So what I would encourage students to do is to go online and to look at some of those success stories and see where the alumni, what they've gone on to do, what types of jobs, where they work currently. And at the Phoenix School, I think a lot of it is culinary is what we're known for, but it varies all throughout the country.
So why would, as a student going into my freshman year, why would I choose the Art Institutes over any of the other art schools that might be out there?
Absolutely, best question. Okay, so here's the reason why. Well, first let me say this. I would recommend to any student that's out there to tour as many schools as you can. Go check out the campus. Try and use the resources that are available, like the ones that we have, Summer Studio, Senior Saturdays, AI After Dark, and that will really let you get a feel for why you would want to choose us. We have instructors who, the majority of them, not only are they teachers, but they're still in the field that they're teaching. So you really get that knowledge, that firsthand knowledge. Our school is specific to these programs, whereas if you go to maybe a JC or another four-year college, you're not going to get, I think, the education that's specific to what you're looking for here.
Okay, so we have one final question here. Are there any requirements for admission, ACT, SAT scores, anything like that?
So I mentioned, first and foremost, you have to have a 2.0 GPA. They do look at ACTs. If you've not taken ACTs, they will give you a placement test to see what you do and don't need to take. The biggest thing, like I mentioned before, you have to have the passion for it. So make sure you're prepared to work hard because that's the biggest thing. You might think, oh, I just need a 2.0, easy breezy, but once you get to the school, it's a lot of hard work.
All right. And is there any financial aid available for students who are looking to enter the Art Institute?
Yes, of course. And again, what I would say to those students is to go online, check out the programs for financial aid. It depends if they're in any programs right now for culinary, fashion, media. There are national programs. I always tell students, go onto websites like fastweb.com, look for scholarships. But yes, we offer financial aid. Once you actually talk to possibly an admissions rep and request that information, you can then then talk to a financial aid representative. And before I forget, I don't know if I said it, we have an open house. Did I say that? I think I did. This Saturday, October 24th. You can go online and register for that, but that's a chance to really find out more about the financial aid.
All right. Perfect. Well, we definitely loved having you out here. Thank you for showing up.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And for all the students who tuned in today, thank you very much for being part of the second annual Digital College Fair that Primavera's put on. Looking forward to doing this again next year. Again, students, if you have any questions, reach out to your guidance counselors here at Primavera. They'll be able to help put you on the right track to getting more information from some of these colleges that presented today. Make sure you guys stay tuned in to our YouTube channel that's out there so you can potentially see these presentations from each of the institutions again. And if you have any other questions you forgot that you didn't get a chance to ask throughout the course of the day, make sure you fill out that short form. Get those in as soon as possible so we can get those questions over to the universities and the presenters that were here so they can reach out and contact you and answer any of those final questions you might have. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you again.